Hey guys, welcome back to part 9 of What If Deku Could Use One for All. So I just want to thank you guys for all the support lately. It's absolutely bloody fantastic and I love you all. Anyway, let's get right into it. So Deku's running in with his mouth covered. He realizes that he cannot attack any of the villains. Even though he's just attacked Muscular, he realizes that that was only to save Koda. And because he knew Muscular was the same strength as All Might, he would still attack somebody if it meant life was at danger, as now he's already deep, but he knows that he shouldn't be doing that. So anyway, Deku runs in, he covers his mouth as he holds his breath. As he gets in there, he realizes that a gun is being shot at the hand who a girl from class 2A, class 1B, sorry. Deku realizes that he doesn't have enough speed to knock her out of the way. He doesn't have enough speed to get himself and her out of the way, and she doesn't have enough speed to get out of the way herself. Deku realizes he's gonna have to sacrifice himself to save her. Deku, of course, being a hero, jumps in the way of the bullet without pushing the girl out of the way, without hurting her at all or damaging any of her bones. But he gets shot right in the stomach. Luckily, this isn't fatal for Deku, as he can quickly use the adrenaline he got from being shot to punch the hero in the face, cracking his mask off to the point where he had to stop his quirk. Deku then falls onto the ground, wincing in pain, as he's just been shot in the stomach. Deku then picks himself up as he realizes he's got to go and help the other heroes, no matter how much effort. But before he does that, the student from Class 1A that doesn't talk much, that can grow hands, comes around and helps him up. He helps up Deku, getting him on his back, as Deku winces with the pain in his voice. Get me to catch on! They want Bakugo! The hand guy with no hesitation starts running towards where the rest of the commotion is, with Deku on his back, half dead. Deku then realizes that his wound is healing up, but it's not healing up quick enough um that he can fight, but it's enough for him to stay awake. The arm guy then gets stopped by Togiyami, who is eventually defeated, who is eventually taken over by his shadow form. Deku realizes that it'll be quicker just to take him out, so he quickly uses a 50% smash to take out Togiyami. Sorry if I said his name wrong. I meant the bird person. Uh, this makes Deku fall down to the ground, and by some miracle he's still conscious as Deku winces under his breath again. Bakugo! And the hand guy picks him up again, and they start heading towards Bakugo. Deku shouldn't be able to move at this point, but for some miracle he can. Green particles start to collect around the womb as Deku can feel it getting better, but he just knows it's going to get worse if he keeps on moving. But he has to move to become a hero to save Bakugo. So he's got to where Bakugo is, and Mr. Compress is there, ready to fight Deku. And that's when a weird portal appears, and Shigaraki steps out of it, as well as a weird masked figure who looks like he's on life support. That's when Deku realizes from the immense aura, the hand guy is even shaking in fear as this immense aura. That's when Deku winces under his breath. It's all for one. He then quickly stands up, shaking in his feet as All for One grabs Bakugo by the neck, shoving into the portal. He then tells Shigaraki to leave as Shigaraki walks through where where the portal was that All for One threw Bakugo through. It's just the portal guy, Deku, and All for One, and Deku tells the hand guy to leave. The hand guy's like, Deku, you're too hurt. You can't fight this. And Deku's like, I don't have a choice. Deku's stomach is bleeding out as he gets ready to fight all for one. And the hand guy runs away at Deku's command. Aizawa is, of course, running towards the battle, wanting to stop it. Even though he was distracted by Dabi earlier, he realizes that he needs to get to Deku because he can feel the aura too. In fact, everybody can feel the aura too. It's immense. It's evil. It's like All Might, just pure incarnate of evil. Deku shakes as he stands up from the amount of Deku shakes as he's standing up from the amount of blood loss and pain he's going through. The green particles are still collecting around his wound. Deku goes, "Give me Bakugo back!" as he swings a punch at One For All's face. One For All grabs his fist before he chucks it to the side and grabs his neck. He then says, "Imagine All Might's face when he sees how destroyed you are. Imagine his pain. Anyway." Portal guy, sorry, I forgot his name. Get the portal ready. I'm just gonna throw away this trash. He then activates a muscle augmentation quirk as his arm grows triple the size, only grabbing onto Deku's neck even tighter. It's a miracle how Deku's still breathing through the great tight grip of All For One. All For One then chucks Deku chucks Deku as Deku hits the ground, creating rubble around him like he's been buried in his own grave. Deku is then unconscious as All For One walks away unscathed from the battle. Deku is really weakened from from the gunshot and fighting. But luckily, he has some sort of green aura around all his wounds as his body is repairing itself. He has unlocked the quirk Regeneration. His body's repaired himself as the big hand girl he saved earlier comes over to the rubble pile to use her big hands to separate the rubble as Ochaku moves the big rocks that were left over from Deku dragging the ground and being dug into a pit into the ground. Then they find Deku there. The amount of blood on his body is shocking, but they realise he's still alive as they all rush to get him to the hospital. Aizawa is scared as he thinks Deku is on his last life, as everyone else is disheartened, frightened, and scared, as the only heroes they managed to catch was because of Deku, and Deku is now in a state of is in a great state, in like a great mess, and Bakugo is captured. The two strongest of UA have now been knocked down. That's when a day passes and Deku wakes up in hospital. He realizes that he's had no stitches or surgery. That's when the doctors said, "Well, by the time you got here, you were covered in a bunch of blood, which was your blood, but you've repaired yourself somehow. So we did a red blood cell check, and everything's still there, and we've checked for other stuff like cancer or something like that, and it looks to be all okay." And that's when Deku says, "Huh, that's a bit weird." And then that's when All Might rushes in and Inko rushes in. He then asks for everyone else to leave other than Inko Midoriya. Uraka also walks in, knowing about One For All now, and Deku, Inko, All Might, and Uraka all discuss about Deku's fight. They say that Deku's fight was irresponsible and he was lucky to come out of it alive. And then Deku says to All Might, "I think I have a new quirk." All Might's like, "Huh, a new quirk? I never got quirks. Do you think it's the old quirks of all the past owners of One for All. I'll go look up on that. Anyway, what do you think it is? And Deku repeats regeneration. That's when All Might goes, how fascinating, how fascinating. Uraka then hugs Deku to make sure and checks whether he's okay, as Inko Midoriya does the same, checking whether Deku's okay, and she's really stressed from this experience, because of course it's the first time Deku's been in the hospital, and as of yesterday they thought he was gonna die from the gunshot wound. It's a miracle he's still alive. If he didn't have his regeneration quirk, he would have most likely been dead. So, anyway, Deku and the rest of Class 1A have a talk all about everything that happened, and that's when Momo says about the tracker, and Deku demands to know where the tracker is and how he can get the tracker. Of course, he's not pushy about it. He just really wants to know so he can save Bakugo. He believes he's strong enough, but at the same time, the whole class are like, you know the power of All for One. Uh, you know it. He's going to devastate you if you get into a fight, right? And Deku's like, I'm not going to fight. I'm going to save Bakugo. The rest of them agree. Other than Ida, Froppy. Sorry, I forgot her real name. It's like Suyu. Uraka does agree this time and helps. And Momo also agrees, giving them a tracker. So they all go out to get disguises, and it's all the same disguises as last time, and they're all ready to go save Bakugo. That's when they look inside and see the bunch of Momos, but they realize that's all they've got. So anyway, they're ready for the save. They hatch up a plan to save Bakugo, and the plan goes: Todoroki creates a huge ice wall, and that's when that's when they use Kirishima as a roadblock, and to get Bakugo, they use Deku as a launcher and Uraka as a floating quirk, so they can float up as high as possible. That is when Deku says, "Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1." The reason they're doing this big rescue mission is so that All Might can go all out. So after the hit number 1, they jump. Deku uses 50% of One for All to push all of them off sliding up in the air, as Uraka puts them off the air so that the friction doesn't hurt them too much. Deku pushes them, and they all go floating up in the air, and that's when Kirishima shouts, "Bakugo!" And Bakugo looks up, smirks, and realizes that he has to go up, so he uses his explosions to go up in the air, and Bakugo and Kirishima hold hands as the rescue mission was successful. That's when Deku realizes that All Might is at his limit from the smoke. Deku also realizes All Might might not be able to take out All for One with the embers of One for All that he has. He then says goodbye to Uraka and asks her, "Do you think you'll be able to keep the group up by yourself?" And she nods yes. Deku then separates from the group as he was on the end. This separation surprises everybody, but they realize they can't go back for him as Deku drops from the top and activates 100% One for All. He then shouts down, "All Might, move out of the way!" As All Might moves out of the way, and Deku swings down, going 100% smash. He comes down from the top of One for All. This smash is direct, but quickly All for One blocked it, and they're in a hold. Deku loses his hold, not having any footing, as he gets flung around in the air. That's when Toshinori says, "You damn fool, you shouldn't have come here." And Deku says, "Do you really think I had a choice? Right, I'm gonna scout the area to make sure that there's no one here. All Might, I know you can do this." All Might then puts a smile back on that he lost and punches One For All. One For All, of course, beats All Might. Beats All Might. Yeah, One For All, of course, beats All Might, putting him into Small Might form. The symbol of peace is now officially dead, as Deku is running around saving everybody in the local area, so All Might can go all out. The villains of course escape by now, as All Might sits there bleeding heavily. Deku, after saving everybody in the local area, including Gran Torino, then moves All Might out of the way. All for One wouldn't have let him do this, but Deku's simply just too fast, going above 100%. Deku realizes that this is damaging his body, but he needs to do it for All Might's sake. He gets All Might out of there as he gives him to Gran Torino, and Gran Torino get him both out of there, but not before Gran Torino says, "Come on, kid, I know you can do this. Anyway, you're stronger than All Might now, so let's go." So Gran Torino and All Might get out of there, as it's now Deku versus All For One. All Might is fighting against this, but of course Deku decided to knock him out, knowing that All Might would not let himself go. But he also realizes that if All Might goes any further, there's a chance he can die. So Deku is ready to fight All For One. By now, All For One's realised what's going on, so he powers up to max power. He's now got his muscle augmentation, spring-like limbs, and all the other quirks, as well as all the other quirks in his body. He's in a gross monstrous state, but he's about 10 times the power that he was before, and he's about 4 times the power that he was after United States of Smash. Deku realizes that this is he's 4 times the power as he was before United States of Smash in the original anime. Right now he's in a super powered form. Deku realizes this battle is going to be a tough one. He starts prepping as he activates 100% full Carling, and he goes smash. The smash makes contact as the buildings behind All For One crackle with the amount of pressure that the earth is under. It's shaking enough for any building that isn't rubble yet to turn into rubble from the earthquakes caused by the power of the clash. All For One then says, "You know you're not going to win, Izuku Midoriya." He then does a punch to Deku that hits him directly, swinging him across the ground and putting him in a pile of rubble. Luckily, this time he picks himself up and he goes, "For All Might, I must win!" He then uppercuts All For One as All For One gets flung into the air, and Deku then says, "I was taught this move by my master. I was taught this move by the symbol of peace. I am going to become the new symbol of peace. I will become the wall that all heroes will rely on. I will become society's protection. You will lose. United States of Smash!" He then makes a direct contact to All Might's face, flinging him from the air into the ground. He's now buried in what looks like a 3-meter hole. All Might then wakes up from Deku knocking him out and looks on the screen to watch this United States of Smash. He then chuckles and says, "Haha, the kid actually did it," and then coughs blood and says, "Well, he didn't follow my technique, but he still did it." And that's when Gran Torino also says, "The kid did it too," and the rest of the world is like, "Oh my god, what's the power of this youngling hero?" And they're all just cheering on. And then people ask the name as Bakugo shouts out, "His name is Deku," as everyone else starts chanting Deku, and it gets shared across the whole of social media. Deku is now famous. Deku is now a hero. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this What If. if you did, like and subscribe. This is, of course, where I'm ending it this episode because it's a good place to end. Yeah. Anyway, this should come out 12 o'clock on Saturday. So, have a nice afternoon and goodbye.